What's up? It's me. I'm in the Bronx. It's Barbarisi. What's going on? People. Ladies and gentlemen. Where do I begin? Where, oh where does Barbarisi, only child born on Smithtown, Long Island, was not brought up in Smithtown. Where do I begin? Well, I'm just grateful to be here another day. I'm grateful that my heart is beating for my child. I'm grateful that I have a banana to eat. Yes, it's the little things that I'm grateful for. So guys, this is going to be the start of this thing that I'm doing. My life story, the very beginning. This is very spontaneous. This is very random, off the top. So I was born December 16th, 1979. I was born to a big Italian family back then when they made pasta every Sunday. My father listened to doo-wop music, and my father was a hard-working man. My grandfather fought in the Second World War. He was military police. He was in Okinawa, my grandfather. And I'm very proud of him. My grandfather was from the Bronx. He proposed to my grandmother on Orchard Beach. And my grandfather was something else. His name was Anthony James Torioni. He won Medal of Honor. He was one tough son of a bitch. Keep it fucking moving, man. Anyway, I guess he doesn't know those days are over, buddy. That fucking rat bastard. Yeah, you better keep it fucking moving. Sweetie. I'm not a fucking sweetie. I'm not your sweetie. I gotta laugh at these clowns. Anywho, as Celia would tell me. Anywho. So, getting back to my story. So, when I was born, I was the only child born on Long Island, like I said before. I grew up in a pretty decent house in Centereach, Long Island, 7 Lake Grove Street. You guys can look up the house. 11720, Long Island, New York. The house was redone, so if you see it on realtor.com, that's not what it looked like when I grew up in it. The red and white fence is still there to this day. We had 6 maple trees in the front, a big blue spruce in the back, a Japanese maple, and a Canadian maple. My father loved plants. My father loved weather. My father absolutely loved meteorology. Meteorology, excuse me. I got a little banana cord in my mouth. Anyway, so, as I was saying, my father worked a lot of jobs in his life. He worked for Pepsi Cola through my uncle Richie Scaglione got him the job. He was working for Rolling Rock, and my father delivered Pepsi. He had his own route, and my father would stock up the boxes of Pepsi in such a way that it looked actually like art. He would do it in a way that it was just so perfectly unison. Each box had to be just so, and all that. And then my father wound up embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was a white-collar crime. You got a slap on the wrist, and that was that. My father only went up to the 8th grade like I did, so you know, his hands were dirty, if you understand what I'm saying. And yes, I grew up in an all-Italian family. I'm 97%. I'm sorry, my sister's fucking 97%. Excuse me. I see you looking, dude. Keep it moving. 96% Italian, and 4% Arabic. My sister is 97% Italian and 3% Greek. Go figure. I know, right? Hey, how you doing? Don't let the red hair fool you. And no, I'm not related to Judas. Oh my God, that whole thing about redheaded Italians being related to Judas is a real, I don't even know. I don't have no. It's a real ball buster for Italians, because forget about it. To be told that you're related to Judas is a real disgrace, especially for Italians. No. You don't want that. So, every Sunday, there was a lot of good times, as my father would say, good times, with the thumb up. My father was a real character, real old-fashioned guinea. You couldn't even look at him crooked. You looked at my father crooked, you got cracked across the face real quick. He used to sit at the table, he used to look at me like this. Not a stitch. You're not going to wear a stitch of makeup. And if I catch you with a stitch of makeup, you're going to get this. He used to tell me when I was, before I moved in with my mother. And no offense to anybody who's Irish, but you know how it is with Irish and Italians, forget about it. But then my father used to say, shanty Irish. He wound up marrying an Irish woman. So there goes that whole shanty Irish pig thing. I have nothing against any race. I'm just telling you what I grew up with. I grew up with my father was racist towards certain races. What can I say? But guess what? My brother married a black girl, and he wound up loving her, Nydia. My father wound up having a change of heart, but I grew up in a very racist environment. I'm not gonna lie, I'm telling you my story. This is my story. So, my grandfather, like I said, he was the foreman for General Motors, okay? He ran the show in General Motors for a long time. He worked for Otis Elevators. He had a really good job, and he was very, very proud of his work, but he was an alcoholic. So this is my mother's father. Now, my father's father, he committed suicide when my father was 8 years old, okay? I'm sorry, 9 years old, committed suicide. They found him in a hotel in Jersey. His name is Carmen, not Carmine, Carmen Barbarisi, okay? And they found him, this is a true story. Diane, my sister, the nun, if you're watching this, you can leave a comment. I'd greatly appreciate it, a fangu. You know what I'm saying? So they found him in a hotel in Jersey with the rosary beads in his hands, knelt on the bed like this, prayer style, on the side of the bed, and they found him with the rosary beads clutched in his hand. And my mother said that the story is he committed suicide because he had three women. He had kids with each of he had 4 women, kids with 3 of them, and he felt like a failure, so he wound up committing suicide. And that's what happened with him. All my great-grandparents were born in Italy, every single one of them, so I am second and third generation Italian. So, now I'm going to start getting into the nitty-gritty of things. So as my father was living double life, he would only come home on the weekends, and that left my mother in a mindset not to be a mother, and that's the truth. So her not being a mother left me and my sister open prey to my cousin, who molested us for years in front of everybody. And that's the God's honest truth. He used to sit us on his lap and molest us right in front of my whole family watching football. Sometimes my father was home, but nobody paid attention. My mother gave him the blanket, and I asked her, I said, I don't know how I asked her, but it's in the interview with my mother, and she said that she gave it to him. She didn't know that he was doing that. Now, you got 2 little girls on your lap. You got a blanket over them, and your hands are under the blanket, and you don't know what's going on. Come on. I don't, something doesn't feel right about all that. Okay? And for her to live with that guilt, must be hard. It has to be, because she tries to deflect it. You've seen if anybody who has been following me for quite some time, you've seen the interview, and the interview with my mother, how she tries to finagle her way, not bringing up the fact that, we were sexually abused for 4 years straight, me and my sister. And he used to make us do sick, twisted things to each other, dolls, the whole nine. One time he took my sister upstairs, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna help her do homework. Help her do homework? You weren't fucking helping her do homework, you fucking rat bastard. And I called him a fucking pig too, right there. I said, you fucking pig. And he was up on the banister, and I called him a fucking pig. I said, you fucking pig. I was only 6 years old. I got cracked across the face. I'll never forget. I got sent to my room. Yeah, I got sent to my room for calling him a fucking pig. Yep. So I'm banging on the door. Leave my sister alone. Leave my sister alone. I'll never forget it. I was at the bottom of the stairs, where the stairs meets the top, that first step. But I was sitting down, and I'm trying to look under the door to see what he's doing to her. My sister's a witness to all of this. My sister is a very shy girl. If she does comment, it's under Little Flower, because the Little Flower, St. Francis of Assisi, that's her favorite nun. And, and that's just what happened, So we went to visit so we're living with my mother. That's going on. My father's living a double life. One time my father actually took me in his Pepsi Cola truck. He took me to Queens, where he was shacking up with his shanty Irish pig. That's what he used to call them. This is his words. I'm just saying, please nobody get offended. Anybody who's Irish, please don't get offended, because I'm not racist against any culture, creed, or race, or whatever. I'm not. I'm just, God made everybody, and that's that. So I'm just telling you what I grew up in. So please do not get offended when I use these words, because I'm just being real right now. I'm telling you the things that I heard as a child. That's what he used to say. And the Irish people used to call us wops, guineas, dagos, all kinds of fucking shit. Yeah, of course, a big rivalry back in the day between the Irish and the Italian. Everybody knows that. Anybody who knows anything about, popular culture knows about that. Yeah, I leave my bag right there. That shows, let him try to take my bag. Let him try. Let someone try to take my fucking purse. Anyway, so what I was saying was this. So, he took me in his Pepsi Cola truck, okay? And I remember bugging out, screaming, no, no, no. I was like 4 years. I have such a great memory. Oh, I remember being in the crib. I remember being in the crib at 2 years old. Yes, I do. I have a recollection that's sharp. After all the drugs I did, and have a recollection that's sharp. Yeah, I do. I remember I used to bang my head against the wall, saying, I want to go dance. That means I want to go downstairs. That's what I said. I want to go downstairs. And that's the memories I have as a kid, from the way back, 2 years old, banging my head. So he took me in the truck, he took me to Queens, and I'm standing, they lived on the second, we wound up moving in that apartment with him years later. Me and my sister and my brother Jimmy. Chachi, they call my brother Jimmy, because he looked like Chachi from Happy Days. Anyway. So, he takes me over there, and I'm looking up, and I see this androgynous figure. Anyone knows what androgynous means? A female that looks very manly, or a man that looks very feminine. Either way. It could go either way, right? Overalls, suspenders, the big curly poof hair, Andy cap on, the whole flannel shirt. It looked like a clown, straight up. Very pink. I remember the alabaster skin, like it was like I could see it right here, right now. I can project it. So I'm looking up, and my dad's like, try to play it off that this is a man. Meanwhile, this was his girlfriend that he met. My father had a bar too, JB's Pub. He had a bar, JB's Pub, at the same time that he was working for Pepsi Cola. Okay? He was doing both. He would run the bar on the weekends, and it was in Center Reach. It was a big hit. My mother's brother, the Deuce, was working there. It was my Uncle Gary, they call him Mr. Big. Mr. Big was working there. It was a big hit. Big hit. The Hells Angels used to go in there and cause fights. I was just a baby. My father used to bring me there sometimes as a baby in the bar. And getting back to what happened, so I'm looking up and I said, that's not a man, that's a girl. And my father said, no, that's my friend Tamanouche. That's what he called him, Tamanouche. Yeah. Go figure that. I said, no, Dad. I said, that's a girl. That's not a boy. I said, I can tell. I could tell from the skin, that pink skin. I said, that's not a boy, that's a girl. And I was right. It was. It was a female. Turned out to be my stepmother. Imagine that, little me looking up at the stairs saying, that's not a boy, that's a girl. Yep, I sure did. And my father tried everything, and she's waving, she's smiling, she's trying to win my, saying, oh, look at your pigtails, oh, I'm going to cut one off, and trying all these different tactics to try to win over my affection. Trying to be nice, drunk as hell, smelled the alcohol even then. You kidding me? Yes, I sure did. So drunk. My father, he used drugs and stuff, and I didn't know what that was at the time, so he always held a job, so that was one good thing. But he was a drug addict. He told me, he said that he stood with me and Tito for a little while when I was first with Tito in the Bronx, and my brother dropped him off, and he stood with me. And I said, Dad, when me and Diane were little, did you used to use drugs in the house? And he said, yes, we used to smoke crack. Yeah. So here it was, me and my sister growing up in a household with drugs, and we didn't even know. Had no idea. What we did know was we were being abused. And my stepmother, when we did wind up moving in with my dad, what happened with that is went to visit my father one day, and there was a film called Don't Touch. And it was a little girl over this man's house, and he was painting a teddy bear. And he got some paint on her shirt. You can look it up. It's probably still in the archives. It was 1987, 88. And he's painting. I don't know what he was to this little girl, but he had this little girl over his house. And like I said, he was painting a teddy bear. I remember a dim light, canvas, the little girl there. He was painting, and he got paint on her shirt, and he said, oh, take your shirt off. And I remember the little girl trying to, tell him in every which way the little kid could she didn't want to. And when I seen that, because I was more outspoken than my sister, I was always the one, even though I was younger, I was always the one with the more stronger personality and attitude and disposition, and very outspoken, very outgoing, more than my sister. My sister's more of a, she's not, how can I put it? She'll tell you how she feels in her own way, but she just didn't speak up. She just didn't. And then when I said to my father, I said, that's what Paul's doing to us. My father said, that son of a bitch, your mother, I got her now. She's done. He called her up. He said, you son of a bitch, you let Paul touch the girls, you're through. I got you now. So it was used. My father felt bad about what happened. And as my sister agreed to what happened, my father, it seemed more of a revenge against my mother for neglecting us, and that's one thing that that it affected me a lot, Oh, Lord Jesus, this is why I need to help people, you know? I really do. I need to help people. I want to help people like that have kids that are suffering out there. I really do. That's really, that's my dream. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? What's going on? Did you know I had a YouTube channel? I'm gonna finish this.